certain topics of discussion may not be comfortable for all listeners. Certain viewpoints may not reflect those of our partners, sponsors, affiliates, our hosts, or that of our guests. We would like to encourage everybody to keep a respectful and open climate of discussion for all topics, no matter how disturbing they may be. So viewer discretion is advised.
It does not matter where you stand, nor what it is you feel is grand. Magic is all around. Magic is never gone, and it is more than you will ever know. Entrust us, entrust her. For here you will find that the lost of magics have never disappeared.
Hello guys, this is Sherry and welcome to our Friday evening show with the Lost Magics. I hope that you're all very well and okay. Hello to all of the chat. So tonight I have got a very special guest joining me. His name is Curtis. He's into the paranormal. He is also an author of 5 books. He has got some interesting content and video stuff that he sent me over, which I'm going to be sharing with you guys today, and also having him up on the show so that you can get to know him and you can support him. I will be posting some links in the room as well. So we will be starting off with doing the questions. I will have some questions for Curtis. Curtis can answer the questions and stuff. I will show his content. Then at the end, you guys can ask him some questions and we'll get some towards and through the show as well. So I'm not going to leave lovely Curtis in the bottom any longer, so let's welcome him up. Hello Curtis, how are you?
Hi Sherry, how are you?
So, I'm very good, thank you very much. I hope you're well.
I'm good.
Right, so obviously I met Curtis a couple of weeks back. He'd messaged saying that he very much enjoyed my shows and he found me very interesting in that. And we got into a little conversation where he'd clarified that he was an author and that he was into investigations into the paranormal and things. And I'd asked him if he would come up for an interview. And he's been looking forward to coming. He was a little bit nervous earlier, which I can understand. I'm sure a lot of you have been in that seat when you're coming up with me, but he is here. So what I'm going to ask you to do, Curtis, if you could just give the guys in the room a little bit of information on how they can support you, so what platforms they can find you on, a little bit of information about what you do and what you're into, so that they kind of have an idea for who you are.
Well, I started writing songs when I was a teenager back in the 70s and wrote songs. And soon after that, I started writing poetry and played in bands, wrote poetry, and started writing books. Got my books out there and audio books, and now which got me into the paranormal and paranormal investigations, which I've been doing a few of them lately, and I had some very strange things happen to me during them. But if anybody's interested in watching my videos, you can watch True Stories, Strange but True, or just ask me, and I'll let you know anything you want to know.
Yeah, no, that's really amazing. So, what I will do then is I'll start asking you some questions, and it's really just generally about yourself, Curtis, and your interests and stuff, so that guys can get a little bit more information and a bit more of an understanding of who you are. And as we're doing that and you're answering the questions, I will post out your links. And if any of you guys want to support him, you can just hit the links and go over and support lovely Curtis. So I'm going to start out with your first question, which is, so how long have you been actually on social media doing the things that you do, like publishing out your books, your poetry, your paranormal?
Probably about 2.5 to 3 years. I was going to quit 3 years ago, and I decided to start writing. Obviously, and then it started flowing. I started writing books and poetry, and if it wasn't for my wife, supporting me and right there with me all the way through it, I probably would have quit. I, without her, I probably would have just quit and stopped doing it. But it was something I loved to do as a kid and as a teenager. And now that I'm getting older, but I still love to do it. I want to do it. I'm excited by it. And the younger guys coming up and kids coming up, I hope they get into it and, enjoy it. It's something to know about the other side and to know where you're going to go, or, what it's like on the other side. And you don't know if you're going to meet someone on the other side or not, but we're getting close,
Oh,
and
yeah.
we're getting very close, where we can actually talk and know where they're at, and it's right there.
I think we've got some of your fans in the room as well. Jana Stone, hello and welcome. And really good that you're a huge fan of Curtis. That's really, really cool.
Thank you, guys.
Right. So, and yeah, no, I do agree. I think that studying and looking into the paranormal is a really, really important thing because we're all going to be part of that one day. We're all going to go over to the other side. And obviously there is clearly a lot of people that have a lot of experiences out there. There is definitely something out there I would know with the abilities that I have. So for me, even though I can see things with my own eyes, I do like to research it and bring it out in evidence so that I do use equipment and stuff because there are people out there that can't see like I do and things like that. So, and I've always found the paranormal very fascinating. It's always been a very big part of my life since a kid. So I can very much agree with you there that it's something that you can't stop being part of. And that's when you know that you're in a good career or you're in a good pathway. If you enjoy doing what you're doing, if you enjoy doing it, then you know you're in the right place. You know what I mean? So
yeah, it's really not work if you enjoy it.
Like
you know what I mean? If you enjoy it, it's not like working. I mean,
exactly. It's
it just comes natural.
Very glad to meet you as well, Jana. It's really good to have you in the room. So going on to question 2. So when did you start doing your singing and writing? So when did you start having your interest in doing your writing of your songs and doing your singing? Like when did that all come
I started it when I probably a teenager in high school. I started playing in local bands a little bit around town, a little bit here and there, and
and what is it that you play? I've seen a guitar.
Guitar.
Is that what you play in in
in
the band?
Guitar. Yeah, I'm not a great guitarist. I never was, but and I wasn't ever a great singer. But when you write I can write good. You know what I mean? So I know if I write something really well, and I can't find somebody to sing it, I ended up starting singing my own stuff. And because I could not get anybody to sing my own stuff, like some of my poetry that I've written lately, off in the Clover Forest collection. I like Raven's Call and A Crow's Heart, and some of my favorite ones are right there. I mean, they're darker than some of my other stuff, but I like them. I like Raven's Call and A Crow's Heart, and there's some other ones on there. But yeah, I mean, I started writing in school, started playing guitar with my cousin back in high school. And we started a band called Birds of a Feather.
Huh.
It was pretty cool. We did all Beatles and Stones and The Who, and played all over the place. There's tapes somewhere of us still hanging around. Probably somebody still listens to them. But we were good.
See, music is the soul. Okay. Like, music is your soul, your music is your emotion and your way. Now, like, I'm not very good with things like guitars and stuff like that, even though I absolutely love them and I think they're amazing. My partner plays the guitar and plays it very well and has been in bands and stuff. But I do things like the tongue drum and like the drum that you, like the Irish people would play. I do those sort of things, and I think that music is a really
I love Irish
important
music.
factor to life. And it don't really matter if you're not very good at it, as long as you enjoy it and other people can see the enjoyment in that and feel something from it, then it's a good song. It doesn't matter what you sound like or whatever, as long as people can relate to that word and that feeling, then it's a song, isn't it? That's
Yeah.
how I look at it. You don't have to be the best singer in the world, in my opinion. Just be you.
My son plays guitar, and we did a couple of songs. We did a very good demo called Impossible Peace, which I really like it. And then we did one called Maybe Love, which is really cool. They're really nice songs, and the videos are on my channel, but they're good. I mean, they're good. I got quite a few people watched them, and liked them. It's not, I never did this for money, but at some point when I was younger, I always wanted to make money doing it, but I never made money. I mean, I always wanted to make money, but couldn't make money.
But I find that a lot. Like the things that you set out to do and you want to make into a career always end up being the things that don't really turn into a career, but something that becomes part of your life for a very long period of time. Like, and I guess that life works out the way it's supposed to. Life happens how it's supposed to happen, and you go with the flow.
If you're trying to make money doing it, forget it, because you're not going to do it. If you're going to write because you love it, you will make money. It's just, I don't want to make money from my, my books and stuff, but I would like to, but I just want to really be appreciated for it. But I tell you, in the last 2.5 years, I've written a lot. I've written 5 books, 4 audiobooks, probably 200 and something videos. I edited all my videos, and
what I might do is
sorry,
actually
Sherry?
bring your book. I might bring up your books, Curtis, so that the guys can. Well, I'll bring up the books that you've wrote, because you sent me the pictures for them, didn't you? So let me get Chris to do that.
I don't usually wear glasses, but my eyes have been getting bad lately. I don't know what the heck's going on there with that, but
that might be where you're maybe you're looking at a laptop screen too much or something. Because I'm the same. Like my eyes just seem to be really bad at the minute. Like,
do you wear glasses, Sherry?
No, I don't. No. I don't wear glasses, but I think I may have to. I'm not sure.
I'm supposed to be wearing them when I'm reading, and so that's why I wear them.
So this is one of Curtis's books, Angels and Demons, Strange Experiences, True Stories, Strange But True, Part 2. And obviously it is by Curtis.
Yeah, that was something I really loved. That one was narrated by.
Tell us a little bit about this book. What made you want to write this book?
Well, it was part 2 from the first one, first Angels, Demons, and Strange Experiences. There was a lot of experiences that I had growing up as a child, I just wanted to write it. I was writing it down. Some of my family members had very strange experiences, and I remember those stories, growing up as a kid, and I ended up writing every one of them things down, and I remembered some of my own experiences that I had. We used to live way out in the hills in East Talmadge Hill, Waverly, New York, and I would walk home a lot of the times because I didn't have a car at the time. I was young. I didn't have a car, and would walk up these old winding roads in the hills. And like I said, when we would walk by Lover's Lane, you always got that eerie, weird, strange feeling that someone was watching you, So it was very strange up those roads.
So you wrote the book through like experiences and stories that people had told you, and that, which is really, really good to set out on a book and things like when you've got imaginations like that you can do that sort of thing. That's really cool. I am going to look into a couple of your books and see. I definitely want to try and get this one because this one looks really interesting. So moving on to the next one. So the next book is Angels and Demons: Strange Experiences. So this is obviously part one. I take it, Curtis. So
Yeah,
is it along
yeah,
the same sort of line, or is there something a bit different in this book?
yeah. They start different periods, different time periods. Like when I was younger, the first one was when I was very young or younger, and then now the second one actually speaks of, like my paranormal investigations and my daughters involved in that. My wife did some
That's really
EVP
good.
sessions with me, and it's very exciting. I love it. I love doing it. A lot of people don't want me to do it anymore. They think it's funny. They don't want me to do it, but I just love doing it.
Yeah, well, you keep doing what you want to do. If it's something that you enjoy and you have a passion about, there is a lot of people out there that would take what you're writing seriously and can relate to that. So you keep doing what you love. Like, people's opinion shouldn't matter when it's something that you have a passion for. That's just my opinion, though.
Yeah,
Then we have got this one, which is a collection of poems and songs and other writings. Is this a book also? Is this got like your content and
this is
things?
a collection of poems that I wrote. There's a poem. I call it a song poem because it could have been a song, but it was a poem about Marilyn Monroe, Marilyn, Goddess of the Screen, is in there. There's a tribute to George Harrison in there. Uh, there's about the world. I mean, there's a lot of things about. I read about the world and where we're heading, and I don't like where it's heading, so I write about it. I don't know if people like to hear it, but they probably don't want to hear where we're heading. But we're heading in a good place, with the way the world is today. So,
There
and
are a lot of open people that would listen to that sort of stuff. You know what I mean? There are a lot of people out there. Like, you're going to get people that come across to you and tell you don't do this and do that. And I think a lot of that's jealousy, and because, like Jana said in the room as well, it's because people don't understand your sort of way of work. But that doesn't mean that it's a reason for you to stop or anything. There's clearly people that very much appreciate what you do, and you just do it for them. You don't take notice of the people that don't believe in you or don't like what you do. That's up to them. That's how I say it. But just be you.
yeah, I don't want to quit doing it. I'm getting
No,
older,
I
but
don't. I don't want to be showing these ones yet because I wanted to show that last. So you've got In the Clover Forest Collection. So what's this book about?
well, this is a collection like of short stories and poetry, there's in the Clover Forest. There's a lot of things that happen in the Clover Forest, like leprechauns, strange things happen in that forest. And I just wrote a lot of short stories. There's Adventures in the Clover Forest, Emerald Heart is in there, which is I love that one. That would be a good song, Emerald Heart. And then there's
Oh yeah.
Raven's Calls on there, Where Darkness Looms. I'm trying to remember some of them. It's been a while, but there's some of my
So
favorites.
you've got quite a collection of stories and poems and stuff in these books. So the people
Yeah,
would, that if they were to purchase your books and stuff, they would be able to have a very exciting read by the sounds of it. You've got a lot of stuff in there for them to enjoy and to relate to, and
there's
things which is really, really good. And the covers look really cool as well. I think they look
and
very natural.
and Sherry, when I write weird because I can write poetry and songs and when I write them, I write a poem so I can turn it into a song, or I write a song because I can turn it into a poem. It's like interchangeable. That's how I know it's strange. A lot of my friends I used to play
I,
guitar with, and,
I
I
don't
could
think
turn.
that's strange. I don't think that's strange. I think poetry is a type of music. It's just another sort of way of expressing music. So why would it not be? I very much agree with what you're saying there. Definitely.
How about Jim Morrison? It was Jim Morrison. He wrote. I mean, his stuff is poetic and it's very cool. I always liked him. And that book
Yeah, and
there,
it's good when you've got inspirations and people that you look up to and that really inspire you to be who you are. That's a really good thing to have in your life. That. So, my summer in New York. So what's this about? Is this about you, or is this about experiences, things that you've had while you've been in New York?
yeah, this is a book I wrote. I was in New York City in the early '90s. I actually was homeless in New York City for a few months down there, and that's how I became to write it. I was having family problems. I was working on in a foundry. I was an operator in the CB-18, and one day I just shut my machine down. I asked my father if he would take me to the bus station and one ticket right there in New York City. He said, if you get it one ticket, he said, you're not going to be able to go. I said, so I got one ticket. He gave me a ride to the bus station, got on the bus. I told him I had a round ticket, though. So he thought I had a way back. But once I got to, on the bus, I started heading. It took hours and hours. Finally, I started seeing the skyline of New York City and, the Empire State Building, and I got off at the Port Authority and started walking down it. I didn't know anyone there. I had no family in New York City. I just was there to try to get I tried to get a shaving job in a commercial that I almost got it. Almost got on NYPD Blue too, but I didn't get on there. But anyway, walking down I slept in Central Park quite a few times, which is very scary in Central Park, I'll tell you. And finally, I got working in the Bronx for a crooked Irish cop. I was working for him. He was crooked, though. Took my money. I never got paid. But finally, I had family problems, so I couldn't get them to send me money down to get out of there. Finally, they did start sending money. But I was living in this park in the Bronx with these homeless people for a while there. And they would, give me food, give me a place to shower. But every time my money would be sent, they were right there. They would call me Waverly. They said, Waverly, come on, we gotta have your money. We've been taking care of you for quite a while here. But, finally I got out of there, though I did went to the social services offices in Brooklyn, and wow, I tell you, I could tell you more about that book. I had some awful, scary times. I met the mob. I met people involved with the mob down there, and one guy had one finger. He said he lost his finger he owed the mob money, and he took his thumb off, and they were about ready to take the other fingers off. I said, no, it's something else. But there was a lot of good people, and a lot of those homeless people, some of them were doormen at luxury hotels. Some of them were rich people at one time and just fell on their butts and ended up being homeless. There's one old couple I froze to death up in New York City. They lost their home, and they were on the park benches and stuff, and they just froze to death. And it's just, there's a lot of stories of people that you just would not believe.
And I understand what it's like to be homeless, because I used to be many, many years ago. I was homeless and stuff like that, and would rely on them. I'd go and wash in the sinks in the toilets and things like that. And gratefully for me, I come across some very nice people that helped me to get out of the situation that I was in as well, and made my life a lot better. Yeah, it's not the greatest life, but it's a lot better than what it used to be, and I'm thankful for that. So I can relate to you in that way. So it sounds like you've had quite an eventful life, a busy life, and a life that's made you very open and able to see a lot of things that maybe others wouldn't. So that's really interesting, and it sounds like this book would be a very interesting read, because it sounds like you've had an interesting journey.
I was trying to get it, like Angels, Demons, and Strange Experiences. I was trying to shop them around, trying to get a little show, a show or something. But like this, I'd like to get this made into a movie. I've been shopping it around a little bit. I've been asking, producers and I think it would be a great movie. My Summer in New York. Wouldn't that be a good movie? I mean,
it would. It would, and that would be a really catchy film name. And just don't ever give up on trying to do those things. There will be somebody one day, I'm sure, that's gonna like what you do and do that. Don't never give up on your dreams and stuff. And you know, to be honest, this one would make a good movie, and I think the Angels and Demon one would probably make quite a good movie as well. Like a lot of books that authors write and that become movies and things for people to be inspired by, don't they? So just keep going. And I agree, Dana. We were saying the same things. And so this is like a little name tag card that Curtis sent over. It's got his name on it. Curtis D. Schweiger Jr. will be doing a book signing September the 20th. This was just him, like he put something forward saying about a book signing that he'd done. And around again.
Yeah, that's a shop down in Sayre, Pennsylvania, where I had a book signing, and they're wonderful people. I had a book signing. I think 2 people showed up. One actually bought a book, which that's I probably had 2 people show up. That's kind of disheartening. That's what I'm with the COVID and everything. I even sold,
Yeah.
probably sold 135 units or something. But
I'm
I mean,
sure you would have got a lot more people if it wasn't for the virus and stuff. But it's stuff like this when you've got this passion, you just continue to do it, okay? Because you know the times will get better and people will start to come out and notice again. And yeah, I'm sure it can be disheartening because you put all that time and effort into the books, and then obviously hardly anyone was there. But the way of the world has been crazy for the last couple of years, so it's kind of expected. So you can try that again, and maybe this time it'll be even more successful. But this was the card that he sent over to me to show up here, guys. Obviously, I'll come back to showing you the pictures and stuff that he sent me in a little while. But he's obviously, as you can tell, Curtis is a very interesting he's a very interesting person. It sounds like he's had an eventful life and stuff. And he's wrote those books. You can actually purchase those books on Amazon. I have got the links for that. So I'm just going to ask him his next question. And while he is speaking to you guys a little bit about the question I've asked, I will put his links into the room so that you can go and check out his books. You can check out his sites and stuff he's got, so you can support him if you can, guys. So question number 3, Curtis, is where did you get like the passion to start doing your songwriting? What made you get into doing songwriting and that? Was there something behind it? Was there family that you had that were like that?
I think I started writing when I grew up listening to Elton John and the Beatles and the Stones, and everybody else was listening to other things, American music. I was more listening to the, Beatles, Stones, UK stuff. That's what I listened to. And they always thought I was weird for listening to that stuff. But I always liked it. That's what I liked, and that's what I played. They knew if you're coming to my house, you're going to either hear Elton John or you're going to hear the Beatles, or, this was when I was a younger kid, a young kid. There was no way around it. I would not play nothing but Elton or something when I was younger. And I think he's a perfectionist. I think that's where I got writing from. And when I write a song, sometimes if it's 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, I don't care what time it is. I have to get up, I have to change a line, or I will not stop writing until I get it just right, And I think and he's such I can't even say, and Elton is so perfect with his music and his voice and his writer.
He is a good singer.
Oh, he's something else. His voice is wonderful. And Bernie Taupin, he has had that lyric writer for, I don't know, 50, 60 years now. And he was one of the best lyric writers I've never, his words are just, blows me away. I mean, his Burton Tubman.
He's most definitely a very talented man, and he's been around a very long time now, and he's very much respected for his music. And I agree, he's an amazing songwriter and artist, most definitely.
Yeah, I think that's how I didn't try to write like him, but I think their perfectionism is what I always likened myself after them. I mean, just their way of going about things, the way they would write a song, the way they would work together. They just went about it like business-like, and it was just straight to the point. And it was wonderful what they come up with. I mean, some of them songs you will never hear again. I don't think anybody will ever. Yeah, I don't think anybody will ever write like them guys or the Beatles either.
No, definitely not. And there's always those bands and those ones out there that really do that for you and really inspire you to be that way. And them sort of bands are like that. They're absolutely amazing. Guys, I have put all of the links to Curtis's Amazon, his Twitter, to his YouTube, his Facebook, and also to the Goodread site that he has as well. I've put all of the links there, so you can support all of them and go over and support him. Show him some love, guys. That is very, very much important. You know, that's what we're about in this community. So please hit them. So what age would you say that you was when you started writing your poetry? Was it around the same time as you started writing your music and things?
It was probably a little bit after. The music and songs, I did get a little bit of success with them at early, and then it just went away, and then I started writing poetry. And I mean, I could write 15 poems in an evening, so once I get writing, I just don't stop. And my wife knows that. Once I get writing, I just don't want to, I just keep going. I write and write and write and write. I just don't quit.
Yeah, and I guess that's how you know that it's like a passion, and it's something that's dear to you. And not being funny, but songwriting and poetry and things like that, it's really difficult to do if you don't really understand it, and that you have got to really have like a personality and one of those minds that, venture and see things like in different ways. I just think that people that can write books and things like that, I think that they're quite fascinating.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know why. I just started, maybe it was because I lost so many people. I've lost a lot of family members and started to...
Well, that kind of cuts into my next thing, what inspired you to write your poetry. So losing people and experiences and things you've gone through has inspired you to do it.
Yeah, I think so, and I lost a lot of people in my life. And, it's just as you get older, you're going to go too. That's where you're going. So, I mean, you want to get yourself not acclimated to it, but you know where you're going. Eternity is eternity, and that's...
Yeah.
And we're just here for a little short time to borrow this space here in these bodies that we're in right now. And so you're looking what we're all looking at. Yeah. What we're all looking for is eternity,
in a really
right?
Interesting way.
You know what I mean? I mean, that's what we're all really looking for is eternity, because that's where, we're spending the rest of the rest of it, right? Boy,
that's how I look at it. Like, I've always said to people that, our bodies, like that, the flesh and what you see, it's a vessel, okay? It's somewhere for your spirit, for your true self, like your person that goes on for eternity exists, okay? But sometimes it needs a physical body to be able to educate, to learn, to teach, and to do things. So then, therefore, we were put here, and we were put into a physical body so that we could continue that learning and that understanding of the world and how a being should be. And I believe that we've been in many lives, and we have been many forms of things, not just human, but other things as well. Some of us still connected to that. Okay, so for me, like, our body's just a vessel. It's just something to hold us so that we could exist. Because let's face it, in this world, there's so many people that don't see the other side, that if we didn't have a physical body to exist, a lot of us wouldn't see each other. Okay, so we need a physical way to exist. We need a physical way for people to be able to take notice of what we're doing. So that's what I believe that we're here for. We're here to learn and to educate, to find the true self and who we were truly formed to be is what I believe we're here to do. And I believe that whatever you do here really does characterise what's going to happen to you when you go as well, you know. So I do agree with you there. I do. Totally.
Yeah, it's, you know, there's a lot of people I wish I could have met, like John Lennon, you know, John Lennon, I wish I could have met him. You know, a lot of people who passed who wrote, I admired a lot, and I just never wish I could have met. But, I mean,
Yeah.
you know, there's a lot of, you know, look at all the people who have passed. Mozart. I mean, Mozart, man, Amadeus Mozart. Oh my God, I love that music. I love Amadeus. I love
There's
the
been
movie
some
too.
very talented people that have been lost. Some very, very talented people.
I mean, I always thought this thing when I was younger. I always had this really weird feeling that, which when you're younger, you think, you know, that you're invincible and you're not going to get sick and you're not going to get older and I was like that. I was a rebel. I was always didn't care if I lived or died. I bet you I dodged I don't know how many bullets. I probably should have been dead quite a few times.
I think that when you're young, you're kind of not prone to the existences of danger and things like that. And I think all of us probably felt like that when we were younger. I know that I did. I didn't believe that I could ever die or anything could ever happen to me and stuff. And then as you get older, you kind of reality hits you and you realise that things can happen to you and you need to be a little bit more careful on that. I just think that when you're a child, you don't have any care in the world, do you? You don't have anything you fear because you're just so innocent and so open-minded. You just want to know everything. So and I believe that that's half a reason why a lot of children see spirit as well. Children see spirits because they're very open-minded. They're very open to new things because they don't understand it, so they want to know about it. And, you know, I find children very fascinating. And I think that they're very interesting.
Me too.
So, getting on to the paranormal, because obviously you're doing paranormal stuff. So, when would you say was your first paranormal experience, like when you first realised that there was actually another side that we go to?
Probably when I was probably in my early 20s. I used to work on the road, and I actually had a job mowing graveyards, and I was left in one of the graveyards, and I had to dig a grave, and I was digging a grave, and they left me there behind to dig the grave, so I continued to dig it. But there was this one little grave in the back of the graveyard, which caught my attention, you know, and her name was Emily, and it just looked like her grave was unkempt and nobody was taking care of her grave, so I went raked her grave, and I started taking care of her grave. Every time I would go to that graveyard, I would take care of her grave. And there's one day I went there, and I was taking care of her grave, raking, weeding it, and I heard a moan. And then I heard, you know, it was like a moan, and then her grave raised up and actually moved me up in the air a little bit. It just grazed it. And breathing, it scared me. I mean, I don't know if it was a good thing or she liked me cleaning her grave or not, but it was like a moan and kind of scared me a little bit. That's when I
sometimes
finally
when they
started.
communicate and that, they can't get their voice out properly, can they? Like sometimes when they talk,
Yeah.
you can't actually physically, like even though they're talking, you can't physically hear what they're saying. So it does sound like they're doing a moan or something. That does happen. Or maybe she was somebody that couldn't talk, and she would communicate through making sounds or noises and stuff. So maybe this is why you was hearing that as well. Spirits are very baffling. And that's why
It
I'm
was,
an investigator, because I love every aspect to do with the paranormal, and I find it a very fascinating
I'm trying to
career.
get comfortable here because I'm telling you, I'm very uncomfortable. But no, it's just, yeah, I've had quite a few different experiences that has happened, and that was one of them. But lately I've been having a few, strange occurrences. I've been doing the paranormal investigations, which strange, very strange things that has happened, and I don't know. My son was with me a couple of times, and like I was talking with you earlier with the lady's voice that said "out," and I
Yeah,
have on my and I have we usually will do a EVP evaluation, like a video, you know, a evidence review video, and we listen to it, and we started listening to it, and you could hear voices and shouting, screaming, uh, angry. Some of them weren't, and then there was, I heard like pounding. I heard a stone move. It was like granite moving a tomb, opening a tomb, and all that was on this EVP recorder when I did evidence review video. And I'll tell you, man, that stuff there was strange.
yeah, and to be quite honest, there's always going to be really strange experiences in the paranormal, and that there's always going to be things that might leave you scratching your head and wondering what's going on. Even when you're spiritually open and you can communicate, and that even sometimes I'm left like, what just happened there? Like, it's just one of those things. But I love the paranormal. I'm absolutely addicted to the paranormal. It's just that it's part of my life. It has been all my life. So for me, I don't think I'd be who I am if I didn't. I've just seen an orb then. Um, I don't think I'd be who I was if I wasn't this way. And, like, if I wasn't a witch and stuff, I'm very spiritual, very open, and very comfortable with my beliefs. And I think that I wouldn't be who I am if I wasn't the way I am now. So,
I'm like that too, I mean, I'm not a witch or a warlock or anything like that, but I have strong beliefs in, the Lord, and but
yeah,
like
and
you,
I think a lot of people get really confused when you hear the word witch. They don't think that we love God or we believe in God, and we do. There are witches that believe in loving God. I believe in loving God, but I happen to believe in love in other energies as well. That's just who I am. I feel more comfortable in my witch faith than I do being in a faith that's in a church. I just feel very much at home with nature and stuff, and that's just why I'm the way I am. I think a lot of people betray us to be something that we're not. We're not bad people. We're not people that put curses and things on you. We're just people that understand the earth. We understand the way the earth works, and we understand about life and feeling and emotion and things like that. So we're just very open to that. That's what we are. There are bad in there, of course there is. There's bad witches, but I am one. I'm not one. Definitely not. I'm all about love and light and positivity. So when you say that you've been going into the paranormal stuff, so have you only just recently started doing investigations and stuff, or have you been doing that for a while?
no, actually, I was doing it when I was younger, but I didn't realize that we were doing it back then without all the electronics and all the, ring bells and rings that you have today. You have EVP voice recorders, you have, EMF meters, you have, all this electronics that we didn't have 30, 40 years ago when I was younger. But we were running around graveyards a long time ago. You know what I mean? We were running around through the graveyards, taking our little tape recorders and taping voices. And I had tapes from years ago when we had those old cassette tapes, and I held on them for years. And some of them voices are pretty spooky. But in my
Yeah,
days back then, that was my, that was my ghost hunting. Now today they have everything. They have cameras, they have infrared cameras, they have all this electronic stuff. Look at ghost hunters or ghost adventurers, and look what they
Yeah.
have. I mean, if you
Yeah,
can't
and
find
don't
it,
get me wrong, I don't
I'm sorry.
mind those sort of teams, but I think those teams can be contaminated by the people that are involved and in charge of them. You know what I mean? I like investigations and paranormal the way that we do it here on YouTube and that, where it's us doing it personally. We've not got anyone running around telling us what to do. I like being natural. It's the same with my witchcraft. Like people go, so you say you're a pagan. Yeah, I have pagan beliefs, but I do not follow fully the pagan way. Like I follow the reed, I follow the things to do with the witchcraft, and you know I've dedicated myself as a witch, but I've not dedicated myself as a full pagan. But I do have pagan beliefs in the nature side of it. And when people go, well, where have you trained? I haven't trained to be a witch. I learned through my experiences and through who I am. I've learned through experimenting with things and realising the things that I can do with that and progressing my energy. So I am a natural witch and I'm a natural investigator. I've not had training. I've not had people to tell me how to be and how to act. I like being who I am, and it's got me where I am, and I am very good at what I do. I don't pretend to know everything, but what I do know, I'm very good at. And people have come to me and gone, Sherry, I've got these problems going on. Could you just do me a spell to give me a bit of luck and to just lift me? I don't do things that are going to put me at risk or put anyone else at risk. I do things that are going to benefit people. They still have to work for what I've helped them to get, but I won't do it to the point where people are going to start getting jinxed and everything else if it don't go right. I mean, I don't do it like that. I'm one of these, I will happily do you a spell. I'll happily do it, but you've got to put that work in as well. It's not just down to me to make that happen. I can't just make that happen. I can make it progress. I can make it come alight, but it's only you that can make it flower. You're the person that needs that energy, that gift, not me. I'm just giving it to you. I'm giving you that opportunity to have that gift or to have what you need. Do you know what I mean? So that's how I look at things. It's energy is a powerful thing. Whether it's paranormal, spiritual, energy is one of the most powerfulest links to us and to where we live. Okay, and that's why it's really important to use it wisely. And I think some people, they can be quite bad in that way, that they don't use it the right way. They overuse it and they're not thankful or grateful. I will always give back what I've asked to take. I will not walk through a woods and just pick up a flower or take a branch off of a tree. I ask the tree for permission and I wait for that feeling that tells me it's okay to, because I have that much respect. That's how I've been brought up to be. And I've been brought up through the spirit world to do that. I have got certain energies around me that have been with me since before birth and things like that. So, and I've learned through them. I've learned my aspects through them. I've learned things through my mum having a spirituality when she was younger and watching some of her friends. And that really just got me to who I am. And it's just naturally. And I like being natural. I won't call myself a medium. I don't call myself a physic. I'm a spiritualist. I am open to everything. And I don't see everything fully. You know, I see things how I can relate.
Right,
So,
it's coming from somewhere. It's coming from
it's inside.
your
Comes
spirit.
from inside
It's not.
you.
It's
It's your belief.
yeah.
It's your love. It's your passion. It all comes
Right.
from inside.
It's not a
Yeah.
dare. It's not. You know, you're not daring. I dare you to go sat somewhere like these ghost adventure people or whatever, ghost hunters, wherever. I dare you to go sit down there and yell at a ghost and they do. They try to irritate the ghosts, and I've heard them. Some of these
Well,
people.
they do. They do, and that's why I don't watch it, because I don't agree, and I don't believe in disrespecting spirit. Respect them, respect their home, respect where you're going. Okay? Would you want someone to come in your home and treat you and disrespect you? No, so don't do it to them. That's how I look at it, okay? And when I go to places and I do investigations, I will take food and drink offerings for them, and I'll give them that every single time. I'll do prayers for them. I pray for the spirit. You know, I do. I show a lot of love and compassion, which is why I get a lot of activity, because I've always been very open to them. Like me growing up, yes, I had friends, but I was what you would call a loner. I like to be a loner because my friends and the people that I felt comfortable around were my spirit people. They were the only people that have been prominent and been there through my life when I've needed them.
I was a loner too. I was a loner too, like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know
But
what you're saying.
it wasn't so much that I was. I had people that wanted to be friends with me, but I was just a very quiet person, and because of what I was and who I was, I didn't like to socialise with other people, and I've always had the ability to pick up on people's emotions and feelings and that. And as growing up, a lot of the energy that I felt around me, I was put off by. So I've never really been very trusting of human beings. I've been more trusting of the other side, like spirits, crypto, UFOs, things like that. That's just who I am. You know, I don't believe I'm here because I'm supposed to be. I believe I'm here because I'm supposed to guide, teach others. To open others to other prospects of life. That's what I'm here. I believe that I was chosen to come here to just do that. I'm not supposed to be here, but I'm here because I'm trying to help. That's what I believe. I've never felt like I fit in here on earth. I never have.
I feel that way too. You know, it's growing up. I think I've learned or taught myself to. I don't know about not trusting people, but not trust them as much as I did in the past as when I was younger. Because when I was younger, you know, I had friends. I lost a lot of good friends, and I've never made contact with them or anything that I know
Yeah,
of. And
and
I lasted.
I had a couple of very good friends.
Yeah,
But
and
just not many. I did like to be on my own. I was a very quiet person, and everyone would always say, Sherry, you're always so alone. And I'd just look at them and smile and look back over it and always like say under my breath, but I'm not alone, because if you could see them, you could see that I'm not alone. There'd be loads of them around me, always protecting me and being
right,
there, you know. So I've never really been alone.
right. I had a really close friend that we knew each other for quite a few years, and I haven't seen him in years, and he disappeared right off the face of the earth. I haven't seen him in decades now, and we were so close. He was like a brother to me. I mean, he was just like a brother to me. We used to get together, listen to music, talk about the world, you know, and it's strange where he went. I never could find him. I searched death records. I searched everywhere for him. I could not find him. He's like he disappeared off the face of the earth. I cannot find him. And we were close, just like brothers, man.
I think like true friends are really important. Like my true friend was when I was at school, and his name was Tony. Absolutely amazing. He was a really good guy, and I used to really struggle with school and with my home life because of the way I was treated and things like that. And he would always be the one that would be the shoulder to cry on and tell me that everything was all right. And he's the only true best friend that I've had. And he died when he was 16. I was 14 when he died. And he died from meningitis. And we was away on a school trip when it happened. I was away with his brother when he passed away. And I remember us coming back and me seeing the newspapers and that. And, you know, you do have to value your friends because sometimes you end up not having them anymore. And, you know, like I was really close to him, always there. And when he passed, that was devastating. And for years and years and years, like I didn't have communication with him, or I wasn't able to communicate with him. But in the last like 8 to 10 years, he's been showing up. He's been coming and seeing me, and it's the best feeling ever, you know, to be able to see him again. And you know, so young as well. And then I lost my auntie, which is my other soul, the one person that I went to about everything. I would have all my holidays with her. I was hardly ever at home. I was always with her. And when I lost her as well, I found it very hard to trust people because of that, you know. And the things that I have done when I have opened my home to people and I've helped people, I've always been mistreated and disrespected. So me trusting people is really difficult, not just in friendships but in relationships as well. I've been through a lot of bad stuff in relationships, so for me trust is a really big issue in my life.
Your friend when he passed away, he was young, you said, but
he was 16.
Did he like go from 16 to 21, or did he just stay 16 or did you see an image of him? Or
sometimes he'll come to me in his older age, like how he would look now if he was still here, and sometimes he comes in his younger age. It really does depend on what he wants to do and how he's feeling at that time. 9 times out of 10 he'll come around the age that I am now that he would be if he was here, He just looks younger. Because obviously he's in the spirit world. And he didn't look very old when he died either. He looked very baby-faced and 16 years old, It was hard. It was hard. But losing people sometimes makes you stronger. I think that's one of my reasons I'm so, like, obviously I've always had communication with spirit, but I think losing them and seeing them kind of verified it, that even the people that I actually know, when they go, they do come back. Like that's verified that for me. So for me, that's what got me into doing the investigations and that, because I'd see strangers turning up in my house. I'm like, well, why are you here and that? And I'm like, is this just a figment of my imagination? Is this not real? But when I lost my auntie and I lost my friend, and I see my auntie, I was like, this is where we all go. This is where we all go. So that's why I got into it, and the fact that I just want to help spirits and I want to help people to have peace. You know what I mean? And I want the spirits to not be trapped. And I don't do the investigations to get famous. I don't do the investigations to get big numbers. I do it because it's passion and I care about it, and I care about the energies on the other in the other worlds, and I care about the people here as well. That's why I do it.
Sorry, Sherry. Have you ever had a near-death experience?
Have I had?
Yeah, near-death experience.
Yeah.
Myself too. I have too, and I almost died in a car accident, which is a very strange story. I was with my brother, and we were, up going up the highway. We were at a bar. He was drinking, I was drinking, but he was driving. I was on the passenger side, and we're heading up this bar that we knew, and it was so strange. I went through the windshield. I don't know if he fell asleep at the wheel, but we hit the bridge, and I went through the window, and he held my eye for me, and I would have bled to death. After I got back to the hospital, I went into a coma. Well, when I was in this coma, I remember they said I was speaking in tongues, which I was speaking in tongues, and I remember someone holding my hand. I couldn't see his face, but he was holding my hand, and we were floating over the Holy Land, which is very strange. And I remember they said I took a breath. They said I went, took a breath. And I told him, I said, I don't want to go back there. And in a deep voice, he said, I don't want you right now. They said I took a deep breath. They said I woke up and I'd come out of a coma. And that was the strangest thing, but it happened. I remember being there.
Maybe it's the power of the energy, our creator being there and telling you it's not your time yet. Like, they all know when it's your time, And with me, I done an investigation where I was severely attacked by a negative energy, and I had a whole collar full of just flesh and blood, where my skin had been ripped off, where I'd had like crosses done upside down. Now, over a period of a few months, this infection got worse and worse, and it started to do really bad things to my body, and I ended up getting blood poisoning. And nearly went. And I remember seeing the light. I remember seeing myself going into this dimension that I've seen many, many times. But then just as I'm getting to that doorway, I hear a voice come through going, it's not your time yet. You need to go back. And I felt like what felt like a push. And I whooshed back. But at the time when I was going through the gate, it was absolutely beautiful. I can't even explain what it looked like. It's not like down here.
That's like what I felt too. It was beautiful.
Absolutely,
it was peaceful.
amazing. And I do believe, like, people say they believe in heaven and hell, and I believe that there is a heaven and hell, but it's not the way that people portray it to be. I believe that your heaven and hell is how you see it in yourself. So if you've done something bad and you see your hell the way it is, I think that's how you would see it over there. Like, if you want to go to heaven and you've done good things, you've got all these things that are your favourite things and things that make you happy and that, and you're going to see that in your heaven world, along with not having to suffer with money problems anymore, illness, all of that would be gone. But I do believe that we meet our loved ones there as well. But it was it was an absolutely crazy experience because it was like going through a tunnel. It was like going through a tunnel, and then there was just this piercing white light,
I saw flowers. I saw people that
and then
had
I could
passed
see this
on.
valley, like this
Yeah, it was
land,
beautiful.
loads of
It
flowers
was,
and beautiful trees, and
yeah, it was beautiful. I mean, I didn't want to come back. I did not want to come back, and it was the strangest thing. It was like I was talking to people I knew who passed before me, other loved ones, and I don't know. I can't explain it. It was peaceful. I didn't want to come back.
It was, and you don't want to come back when you experience that. But the thing is when it's not your time, they're not going to allow you to stay there. You've got purposes down here, and there's a reason to why you're here. So we're all part of a history and a way of life, okay? And life has to go how it's supposed to. So, and what I've done is I've took from those experiences and I try to bring that into my reality. I tell people about it, and I give people insight into things that I see and things like that. And, for a lot of people, they find that really fascinating and really amazing. And I enjoy doing that.
I love it. I love your positivity.
Yeah,
You're very
same as like
positive.
being ill. I've got health issues and problems and things like that. But where I used to look at it as a burden, I don't look at it as a burden anymore. I look at it that my illness just gives me that audacity to be able to help others. And that illness just shows that I'm alive and that I am somebody special and important. Pain isn't meant to be a torture. Pain is meant to be a remembrance of your existence and that life is important and you've still got it. That's how I try to look at it now. Yes, I still have my moments where I get down and get a bit fed up, but I value my life, and anything that's wrong with me, I'll take that. I'll take that because it means I can help others.
Pain is a part of life. I think I'm losing my voice, Sherry.
Yes, so am I. It keeps going up, down, in and out.
It's just like death. Death is a part of life. Life is part of death. It's without either one or the other. You can't have one without the other, right?
Exactly. Like you've got life, you've got death. Just as you've got good, you've got bad. You can't not have any of that. There has to be those elements. That's what keeps this planet balanced.
I think that's what's wrong with a lot of people today. They lost touch with nature. They lost touch with where they came from. They're I don't know. They just lost touch. You got all this social media, computers.
So what would you say is your view on scientific sides of paranormal? Do you believe in the scientific side, or do you believe in being yourself?
I believe in myself. Believe in being myself. I don't believe in anybody else's thoughts on.
But that's a good answer. I like that answer.
I mean, I was Catholic growing up in school. When I was young, I was Catholic. It was kind of strict. My grandfather was the strictest. He was very strict. And, he'd do his Hail Marys. He had his rosary, and he had, I tell you, he was strict. But then after I started growing up, I was 8, 9, I went to church. And, you see things in the Catholic Church that you just shouldn't say, and that's what kind of turned me away from going to church for a while. I stopped going to church, and not because I didn't believe in God or anything like that, or our Creator or anything like that. Just because humans ruin our spiritual thoughts. It's just
prospect of death isn't fun.
Humans are so evil towards one another.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
When I was we were talking about my summer in New York. Now, when I was in New York City, excuse me, Sherry, I'm sorry.
That's okay. And to hammer, the prospects of death isn't fun. No, death isn't fun, and for a lot of people, it is very scary because you don't really fully know what's going to happen to you when you go over there. You've got your inklings and your little insights when the spirits show and talk to you and things like that, but none of us really fully know what's going to happen to us when we go over there. So it's very normal to have that fear and that worry, but don't, because death is a natural part of life, yeah? And death is not the end. Death is the beginning, okay? Because once you die, you continue on to something even greater, okay? So don't fear death.
It's
we don't want to go yet. because we've got a lot more to learn here still. But when we
Right.
do go, believe me, guys, even though it's a scary prospect because we're not certain of what's going to happen to us, one thing that is certain is we go on to another life. Life
Right.
begins when we
Yeah.
die.
One without pain, right?
Yeah.
One
And
without.
no pain, no suffering, no people trying to take money off each other. We ain't got to fight
Right.
over money. We ain't got to fight to get food. There is none of that there.
Right.
You know, it's perfect.
Yeah. That's the way I
Which is
believe
how this
too.
world should have been. But sadly, sin and stuff become up on it, and we've turned the other way. Okay, so this place has become a place to learn your views and your morals and who you are, and
Right.
to choose the right path. Okay, so with you doing the paranormal, do you think that protection is important when you go on investigation? Do you think that being safe is very important?
Yeah, very much so. I always take a rosary with me at all times, or a crucifix, or holy water. I always take them two things with me, and I always say my prayers every night, so I don't
That's good.
never miss my prayers, and I always pray if I'm in a graveyard or
Hello, Dakota.
and I try to speak as politely to the spirits as I can, just like I would be talking to, a
Don't
person
get me
on the
wrong.
street.
Always have respect for spirits and stuff. Always be firm, because they should know where they need to stand. Okay, they cannot overtake you. They cannot do things or overpower you, and you always have to make that very apparent to them by saying, like when you leave a location, always make sure that you say to them that they can't follow you, they're not invited, and things like that, because if they will, some of them will follow you home because you haven't gave them that intention not to come with you or anything. And like prayers and stuff are really important as well, and like you said, holy water and stuff. Like you've got such things as like different protection things you can wear around your arms and around your neck. You've got so many different aspects of protection.
Protection.
Crystals and stuff as well. Like I carry all sorts of things. You know what I mean? I take candles, sages, celemento wood, black salts, white salts. I take everything because of how open I am. I know that the people that go with me are going to get bombarded by spirit, so I have to make sure that I protect them because I'm like a magnet. I am like a magnet when it comes to the spirit world.
Do you take sage? Do you take sage with you?
Sage, yeah. One of my must things is your sages and your salts and your holy water, most definitely. Don't ever forget that. And candles, because no matter how much you're doing, like you're doing your prayers and you're doing those sort of things to protect, always make sure you've got a candle to light, okay? Because you need to represent that light and that positive energy when you're doing that prayer, so that it surrounds the area that you're in. So I do a lot of that. Protection is a very important thing to me as well. So why don't you guys, before I get go back over the chat and see if the guys have said anything, just tell the guys and some of the places that they can actually catch you on. So you've got Amazon for your books. You're on Twitter and YouTube, Facebook. I have put the links in the room, guys. If somebody in the chat that's a blue could go up and just copy and paste the links I put to the top of the chat and just re-put them in the room for me, I would appreciate that. What I'm going to do is get on to showing you some of the videos and some of the pictures that Curtis had sent me over that he wanted me to share with you guys. So first I'm going to start off with the two pictures that he sent me of what he got on some investigation. So just give me 2 seconds. Bear with me, guys. Yeah, these are them. Okay, so we've got that one. Just got to bring it back up. Need you again, Chris, please. So, as you see in this picture, Curtis had took a picture. I will get him to explain a little bit more about it in a minute, but he sent me this picture over. Now, in this picture, you've got the tree. He's obviously in a woodland area. Now, in this circle, you can see what looks like, to me, a young child silhouette. You've got his head here. You've got part of his body behind the tree there, but you've got his arm, and then you've got what looks like he's got like an over jacket or something. And this may be a leg, but you can clearly see that there is an apparition that is sticking out of the tree. Could you tell us a little bit about this picture, Curtis?
Well, it was as I was walking up the lane to Lover's Lane, he peeked out behind that tree. I just happened to snap it. I had my camera going, and then there was he's not the only one that's there though. There's other images. The other image that I caught looked like an alien or something with a headdress, or it was very strange.
I've had pictures like that as well.
Yeah, it wasn't. Like did you see that image in the background walking in the lane?
What, on this one?
On the video, did you see that?
No, I've not seen that. Is that the video that you sent me a couple of days ago that I'm going to be showing in a minute?
Well, that's the witch. That's the Witchwoods, but
yeah, I'm going to show the witch. I'm showing the Witchwood video that you sent me the other day. I'm going to show that on here, so they should be able to see that. And I've got the short clip it ones that you sent me as well of your books and whatever. So we're going to be looking at that. Right, let me come off of that one. But don't take it down. Just leave it up. I'm just trying to get the other picture. Hang on. And then we've got this really interesting picture that Curtis had done as well. Now, to me, in this picture, like from what you've got the gravestone here. And you've got what looks like somebody standing over the gravestone. So you've got like the body that looks like a face or a head, like.
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't see it when I was filming it. I didn't see that, you know.
And then
it was very
you've
strange.
got what looks like little orbs.
Yeah.
As well. Just a few, but the clear one is the image. You've got a full apparition by the sounds of it. You've got the legs here. You can see a leg actually standing through that grave. Okay, and you've got the leg here. You've got the arms and the body. It looks like it's actually hunched over the grave, and it's like looking towards Curtis. That's what to me it looks like it's doing.
I didn't see that when I was filming. It's strange.
I don't know if I can bring it nearer so you guys can. Oh God, it's gone. Yeah, like can clearly see the full apparition of it. Like I'm going to make that go back down because that's it.
Almost looks like a hood, doesn't it?
Yeah, like you've got the arms. There's clear arms here, and then you've got like the back hunched, and then you've got like what looks like a pair of legs, but there's something hanging down, so that would tell me he's wearing a long jacket, and it looks like he's got some sort of hood here, and then you've got his face appearing out of it, looking at you. That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah,
it's a very interesting photo. And then, as I said, you've got like your orbs, and so tell us a little bit about this picture. Like, where did you get this picture done? Obviously, it's at a graveyard.
Well, it was a local graveyard, and it was a night investigation. It was very strange because a football game had started, and I was in the wooded area beside the graveyard, and I come out through, and this is where this was at. I come out of the wooded area, and when I was filming this spot right here, I did not see anything. I did not see that image until I got home and watched the video. Which that's how a lot of these things are happening. If I'm filming at a graveyard or I'm filming, sometimes I don't see anything until I get home. Then once I get home,
there's a lot of investigators like that. We don't see a lot of things till we get home, and then you're like,
very strange, you know. I mean, you can't see with your naked eye. I don't know what it is, or if it's just the camera, or vice versa. Sometimes I don't get EVPs until I get home. I don't hear it there. But if I go home and check the voice recorder, there will be something on there, you know.
And that's what you've got to remember. Spirits are still people. If they don't want to communicate, they won't. You know what I mean? And if they do, they will, you know. And you know, it's like I say to people as well, there's been people that have gone to certain locations that go, oh, I went there and nothing happened, so it's not haunted. I said, how do you know it's not haunted? Just because nothing happened that day doesn't mean that when you go back another day something won't happen. Maybe you went on a wrong day. Maybe they weren't feeling up to acting up for you that day or whatever. I said, you do have to continuously try, you know, and they've got to get used to your presence as well. You know, they're not just going to, you know, come over to you and just automatically start communicating with you and saying that everything's okay and start talking to you. They've got to learn to trust you just as you do them, you know. So, but it's really, really cool when you get catches like this where you know, you're not quite aware of it when you're at the investigation, but you go home, you're going over your footage and you get something like this, like Curtis has got. It's really cool. And I would say that they're both absolutely amazing pictures, Curtis. Very, very good catches, I must say. So I'll bring that one down. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to show you the few short clip videos, and then the longer one, and then I'll say my thank yous. We'll get you guys to say whatever you want to say to Curtis, and we'll end the show, guys. So let me just get to the area I want to get on so that we can see the videos. We're going to leave his main video till last, the one that he sent me the other day. So I wanted to leave that till last. So we're just going to go over his little short videos first. He did make sure that we had some content and stuff for the show, and so you guys can get to know him a little bit more. So these videos that I'm about to bring up to you are short video clippets of his book, this one. So let me just make sure that that's not playing yet. Yeah, it is. Hang on. Right, bring that up. I'm going to need that again, Chris, please. Angels and Demons. Yep. And could I have it on full screen, please, so that or just a bigger screen? Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you. Put that up to there like that so you can see it. Right now, this is the first video. This is a short video on Curtis's book about the angels and demons, and this is the series part 2.
Hi, Kurt Schweiger Jr. My new audiobook, narrated by Gina A. Jones, a.k.a. Brooke Chambers, award-winning author, is now live, and you can, by the holiday season, you'll be able to buy it everywhere. So be sure to check it out this holiday season. It's pretty cool. I think it's the best audiobook of the year. Peace, love, Curtis Schweiger Jr.
Right, so we had that one. So then we want to bring up the next one. All of them on full screen, guys, when I get them. Sorry, it's just taking me a while. So this one is 12 minutes long, so we'll leave the longer ones for a minute and just do the short ones. Okay. Oh. Hang on. No, not yet. You've got to be able to get everything in one place, guys. It can be...
In the shadows, The leaves rattle the ground. The shadow. Ravens call. When the moon is full in the darkest of nights, deep in the shadows, the leaves rattle the ground. The shadows are tall. You can hear ravens call, walking somewhere where no one walks, where no one goes, and the stalker stalks. The sun leaves and can't penetrate. The raven's call might seal your fate. Deep, deep, somewhere where light is no longer seen, the summer is no longer green. It's finally the cold, cold fall. Beware, beware, ravens call.
Very cool. Right, next one. Sorry, guys, you've just got to bear with me because there's quite a few videos. Like, I've got the main ones now. I've got the last ones that I need just to show you after to play after that. Oh, I meant to do that.
I'm really enjoying myself, though. I really am. I just wish, that...
Sorry that was going on. I couldn't get that to turn off. Say that again, please, Curtis.
Oh, I'm just really enjoying this show. I love it.
I told you you'd feel at home because you was feeling a little bit nervous beforehand, and I am a really down-to-earth person. You really don't have to worry.
I was really nervous earlier. I was really, really nervous, but you made me feel very, very calm, and now I feel all right.
And a lot of people do say that about me. They do say they feel very comfortable when they come up with me because I'm just very down-to-earth. I'm not somebody that asks complicated questions or puts you on the spot. I kind of just get on with it, so... And I'm glad that you're enjoying it. We're enjoying having you.
Schweiger, this is an evidence review video of the investigation I had a few nights ago. And I did record some screams. And towards the end of the video, you'll hear some footsteps. I'll let you decide what you're hearing here. This is what was in a local graveyard, and I don't know where these screams were coming from, Sherry.
They sound very, very bizarre. Wow.
If you watch the video, there's nobody there. There's nothing going on. I'm just in the graveyard by myself. Very strange.
That's obviously them communicating with you. You can clearly hear what sounds like them, like some screams. And
if there is anybody here, can you say who you are, what your name is?
Wow.
Here with me?
Thank you, Hammer. I like to be as natural as I possibly can and make people feel comfortable.
Can you say hi to me right now? I think I'm hearing voices right now. I think I hear something. But can you say your name?
It's not gone off, guys. It's just a very dark screen on this bit by the looks of it.
Can you tell me who you are?
It's just
all
there's footsteps and stuff. I was sitting still. And
is that them walking around at the minute?
Yeah, I was sitting still and something was walking around me. That was weird.
I can hear it.
Can you say your name? Can you say who you are?
Very interesting.
Yeah, I have a lot of that stuff. A lot of stuff like that.
Right, so that's that video. That was really interesting, Curtis, that one. You could definitely hear the screams from unidentified beings of the other side, and clear footsteps walking around you while you're filming and doing that EVP. So that's a really good catch as well. Very impressed. So now what I'm going to do is go on. There's 2 more videos that Curtis had sent me over. So we have got the one that is called the Searching for EVPs. That's 12 minutes long. And then you've got the Witch's Wood, which is 11 minutes long. Okay, so what I'm going to do is we'll first do the other EVP one, and then we'll do the Witch's Wood last, because I wanted to show you the investigation one last, and that to finish it with a really cool thing.
Sounds good.
And then we'll see what the guys are saying in the room, and thank everybody for coming and things like that. And you'll have to tune in next week for another show.
Sounds good. I'll be here if you want me.
Obviously, you can come in and watch that. It's more than welcome. You're all family.
Oh,
right.
Thank you,
so,
Sherry.
You're very welcome. So
your
one
family
is
me too, Sherry.
Always. And this is a very good community to be part of. And if you're just getting into your investigations and that, you've got some really, really good people on here that could really help you in a lot of ways. So we've got your back. So this is the video that was also done by Curtis, and it's called Searching for EVPs. Now, this was in the woods. I'm taking it this was done in the Witch's Wood.
I think so.
Right, so we're going to go down the bottom again and play this one. And if you guys tell me and Curtis what you think, listen carefully so that... Chris, could you put that up for me? Thank you. So, this one is 12 minutes long.
Hi, Schweiger. This is Searching for EVPs, Part 4. And I wanted to return to the wooded area here where I saw a face.
These woods look like something out of a fairy tale. I mean, I keep thinking about Alice in Wonderland jumping out in these woods. Are so pretty. But Sherry, if you look, you'll see an orange glow peek behind one of the trees.
Okay, I'm looking.
I saw an orange glow, and I did see a white face come through when I was in here the last time. And the last time was pitch black.
Keep looking for an orange glow, Sherry.
Yeah, I'm watching.
Do these woods look like any woods in England, London?
We have some beautiful woodland areas over here that look very much like that, yeah.
Oh, I would love it.
Oh, wow. Did you see that? Oh, that's
did you
the
see the orange
anybody in
light
here with me tonight? Yeah. And if there is, can you tell me what your name is?
Yeah, it kind of peeks behind a tree, and then
I seen a face in here.
Uh-oh, my battery's running low, Coach Sherry.
Not too long ago.
Hang on a minute.
If you can say who you are.
Chris, bring that down a minute, because I think he's saying that his phone's low or something.
Yeah,
How long is it on for your phone?
I'm not sure. My battery's getting kind of low here. I'm way upstairs, so I'll probably have to go down and plug it in or something.
Right. Do you want to stay on, or do you want to like give your information on where people can join you and things like that, and maybe sit, or you're going to go down and plug it in? I'll carry on playing the thing if so.
Yeah, that sounds good, Sherry. That way we can call it a day. Unless you want to show the Witchwoods one and call it a day.
Well, take this video down and just do the witch video, yeah?
Yeah, it sounds good to me if you want to.
Yeah, no, we'll do that one then. Okay, right, hang on a minute, guys. We'll do the Witchwood one. We'll do our goodbyes and stuff after, guys, and then it'll be the end of the show. Chris, if you could just bring that up quickly for me. Sorry. So this is the investigation that Curtis done a couple of days ago at the Witch's Wood. This was an investigation. It's just over 11 minutes long, guys. Keep an eye out. Is this the one that you said that you caught like a shadow or something, Curtis?
Yeah, I did.
Right, just keep your eyes out, guys, and tell me if you see anything and write it in the room.
Kurt Schweiger Jr., Witchwood's Night Investigation, Part 1. I wanted to come down in here and see if we can get some EVPs, but it's pretty spooky down in here. Trying to find the old witch grave there.
If you look on the tombstone, you'll see the witch's impression on through the light, I think. That's what I think I'm seeing.
Here it is.
Are you watching, Sherry?
Yeah, I'm watching, but I'm also posting your links out.
Is there anybody in here with me tonight? I came back at nighttime just to see if I can get some EVPs and see if you ever were here. If you can, say something to me, will you? I'm not going to stay too long because it's pretty weird down in here, so I'm going to see if you taped anything. Are you here? Are you here with me tonight? Say yes or no, or give me your name if you can. A lot of strange things were happening down in there, I know that.
Interesting investigation.
Anybody in here with me? Is there anybody in here buried here? I was told there was an old witch that was buried here years ago. Is that true? And if there is, can you talk to me and say hi to me? Or is that part of your foundation there? This is definitely pretty weird down in here, let me tell you that. Anybody in here with me tonight? Used to be people that came down in here. They did rituals down in here. And other things down in here. Are you here? Witch? If you're here, can you let me know you're here? Because I'm not coming back here. This place is pretty strange. But I was told so many different stories about it. That's why I'm back here.
Yeah, Keiko, she's still with us.
A lot of strange things happened. I guess you had to be there. Very weird.
Yeah, no, that's the thing with these sort of things. You do have to experience it and be there in full hand. They are really cool to do investigations and that.
Is there anybody here with me? I'm going to get ready to get heading here. I hear voices, but I don't know what I'm hearing here. You here? Witch, I'm going to give you one more time to let me know if you're here. Are you here? Alright, I'm going to get ready to get heading now.
There is a Facebook user on Facebook saying, "Hi Dad, so I'm taking it that's your son Curtis or your daughter." And hello to you.
I don't know what this thing is here, but it's pretty weird. something. Keep hearing something. Pretty weird down in here. Anybody in here with me? Heard there was a witch that lived down in here. I'm gonna go back through my evidence. Is there a witch that lives in here? I'm gonna have to leave now and get out of here, but I definitely will be back.
So that was Curtis's investigation that he'd done a couple of days ago at Witch's Wood. Again, very interesting. There were some strange sounds. We could hear birds and stuff, definitely surrounded in the natural world of nature and stuff, but a very interesting place. It did get a very eerie feeling watching that. Like, I don't know why, but I felt like that like you had eyes on you, like someone was watching you.
I kept hearing people, something walking behind me, and then I seen that looked like an image of a witch in the tombstone out through the light.
Yeah, it was very interesting, very, very interesting. Guys, if you haven't got Curtis, I have sent all of the links and stuff into the chat. Please go and support him on his Twitter, his Facebook, YouTube, and all of those platforms. Please go and look at his amazing 5 books he's wrote as well on Amazon. The links are all in the room. I do want to say a big thank you to all of the new people that are in the room, and to obviously you as well, Curtis, for coming on. What I just want to do really quickly, while we're here, is just go through the chat and give a shout out to everyone very quickly. So we've got Christina Day, we've got Hammer Horrible, hello, welcome to all of you. We have got me in the room. We've got Facebook user, hi Dad, that must be your son or your daughter. A big hello to you as well for coming in.
My daughter, probably.
We've got Shrimp Shack, big shout out to you. Ghost Squad Scotland, which is Chris, the one that you saw on the panel. Papa Joey's Adventures, hello. Jana Stone, hello. Big welcome to all of you. We've got, just going up, sorry. I don't like to miss any of my people out, especially when they come and...
Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Sherry, too.
Specialist of the Strange, which is Dakota. So he was in the room. He did check in. That's the main boss. He's also on the Bold and Boncar Network, LLC. Christina there. We already done Christina. We've done Hammer. Obviously, a big shout out to my fellow as well, Coffin, and to Light, which is Anonymous Light. They were in the room as well. To anybody that's been watching us on any platforms, any of the YouTube networks, Facebook networks, a big thank you to all of you for coming over and supporting Curtis. Please go and check his links. Is there anything you'd like to say to the guys, Curtis?
Thank you for watching, and good to meet you, Sherry, and it was interesting, and I enjoyed it.
Well, absolutely amazing content and an absolutely amazing guest, Curtis. I very much enjoyed having you on, and maybe in the future, when you've done a few more investigations, maybe we could have you back again to have a little bit more of a chat and to interact with the guys on chat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you all lots of love, light and blessings, and may you have a safe and peaceful night. And thank you for supporting us all. A big shout out to the Boulder Bonker lads, to all of our streaming network sponsors and all of the people that put us out on the networks. Without you, we would not be able to do this. But from me and from Curtis, we're going to wish you a good night and a blessing. And we will see you all very soon. Blessed be. And a merry parting.